Designing network storage and compute resources. So in this section, what we are going to do is we are going to understand the integration requirement on premises versus cloud environment, cloud networking, choosing the data technologies, choosing the storage, and choosing the compute technology for our requirement. I will not focus on the networking part because it is very simple for us to understand. Let us go ahead and choose the data and appropriate storage as well as the compute requirements. So if you look at, or if you want to map one to one as an infrastructure, then what we need is there are servers, Linux servers, those servers where the data gets uploaded and data is processed by the ETL engine, and you can map this to again the Linux servers, and then data is pushed to a data warehousing, where you can treat any of these data warehousing solutions which they are using it. They have not disclosed it as a technology understand under the hood, but this is overall architecture what they have provided. If at all you want to map it to the Google Cloud Platform, and you start with say data warehousing solution, you can map it to the big table, you can map it to BigQuery, you can map it to a data analytics tool or machine learning tool or AI tools, right? ETL, you have two options. One is to use Dataproc, and second one is to use Dataflow. And for FTP servers, you can use Linux machines, as it's as simple as a virtual machine, and upload the data there. But there are other technologies which we want to assess, and that is our Cloud PubSub. Cloud PubSub can take the data from any source. It is managed service. You don't have to go ahead and apply your brain to provision the infrastructure. Everything is managed for you, and it is globally available service, so you can use it across the globe. And I think the customer's requirement is their equipments are in 100 countries, and you can expect the similar kind of connected device also. There may be, currently 80 to 90 countries where they do not have connected equipments right now. But yeah, you can expect that, around 20 countries connected device will grow to say almost all 100 countries, right? Or even agriculture equipment will grow in some other countries, and then they will start pushing in the data. So Cloud PubSub is where you can take the data in from those connected devices as a stream, but you can actually take the data in the form of batch as well, which is like file upload to your cloud storage, and then you can process that particular cloud storage in your ETL engine. And you can do that with both the technologies. For streaming, we are going to choose the Cloud Data Flow, for because it supports streaming as well as batch data processing. Dataproc does only the batch application, but you can have some Spark job which runs on Dataproc as a cluster, and they can do a streaming. But Dataflow is the good choice for us to move further. To choose it or to arrive it to this particular conclusion, right? Which solution that I'm going to choose it, you will need to apply different attribute. What are advantage and disadvantage of different services? Let us go ahead and run through those, and I'm going to do this for this particular case study. You have RDBMS requirement. You have the Cloud SQL as a first choice, where you can spin MySQL and up PostgreSQL. You can go up to 10 terabytes of storage. You can have read replicas, and it is scalable enough, creating read replicas, but it can go vertically and not horizontally scalable. Okay. Case studies is CMS, finance, and AdTech, e-commerce, and like that for Cloud SQL. The another option that we have is Cloud Firestore. It is a document DB, and it can be used for user profile and state storage, but not for our our use case, right? Our use case is to go ahead and do 9 terabytes of data processing, and it is not and it is the raw data which we know in advance, right? It is not the document data. Third option that we have is the Cloud Spanner. This can be one of the scalable use, but we want to run analytics on top of it. It is not straightforward OLTP requirements. It is for analytics. The advantage with Cloud Spanner versus Cloud SQL is it can grow horizontally and it works with the structured data very well. The next option that we have is the columnar database. It is fully managed low latency column oriented database. It is highly scalable, petabyte scalable. You can just add node and everything is handled for you at tech, finance, IoT, aggregation, and low latency requirements. Work only with the structured data, so that is the limitation, but we definitely have a structured data if we look at our use case. So Cloud Bigtable can be one of our the choice. The next choices that we have is the Cloud BigQuery. It is highly scalable, managed enterprise data warehouse, OLAP workload up to petabyte scale, case studies, EDWB, analytics, data science, and big data or SQL. So this could be another choice for us. And if you look at the requirement for us to ultimately store the data, our data is analytical data. And do you want it low latency, or you can run it as a big as a ML engine? You can decide on that, but ultimately if it is batch is fine, you do not have low latency requirement, just go ahead and use BigQuery. So based on that requirement, I think BigQuery is our choice. On top of it, we need to run Cloud ML machine learning modules to do a predictive analysis for the faults, which is another requirement for us. As a ETL engine selection, right? So we said there are two options available, Dataproc as well as Dataflow. And looking at the details, and we saw this earlier, the requirement is to have stream processing based on the PubSub and batch processing as well. Dataflow works very well for our use case. It is Apache Beam. It is a scalable again. You can define the machine, the underlying infrastructure, and then you can add in those machines to process your data. So it is scalable platform for our ETL choice, and we are going to choose Dataflow as our ETL engine.